Hello.
Janet, can you tell us why you decided to put out this statement this morning about the New York Times story? Why did you feel compelled to respond?
Well, the subhead of the newspaper indicated that the White House, well, it says the White House role was wider than it said, implying that I had either changed my story or I or somebody else at the White House had misled the public, and that is not true. And I have heard now from the New York Times that they will retract that headline, and they are going to run a correction tomorrow.
But the underlying facts, 4 White House lawyers, 4 named, knew about the destruction or the intent to destroy the tapes beforehand. Are you disputing that?
I have not commented on that in one way or another. Helen, I'm going to finish this answer. The White House has not commented on anybody's involvement or knowledge, save for me telling everybody that the President had no recollection of being briefed on the existence or the destruction of the tapes before he was briefed by General Hayden. After that, I did not comment on anybody's knowledge or involvement. And so if somebody has information that contradicts the one thing that I've said, then this would be true. But it's not. And that is why I asked for a correction, and the New York Times is going to correct it.
So you're disputing the characterization in that subject, but not the underlying facts of the story?
I'm not commenting on the underlying facts of the story. I'm sticking with what I have done in the past, which is that there's a
If in fact these 4 lawyers were involved and the New York Times has information saying that they were involved, isn't that wider than you were saying? You're only saying that the President had no
This
involvement.
headline-
Therefore, you're saying that, you know...
Well, if you want to defend the New York Times, then you might look at it that way. I look at it from anybody who... I think anyone who... And believe me, people that I've talked to, the reading of it, when I first looked at it, I felt that that was saying that I had misled the American public on this, and I have not. There's nothing I've said that has been contradictory. Under our Constitution, the press is free to speculate as much as they want, and they can report on as many former administration officials or unnamed current officials that they want to that contradict each other throughout these stories. I'm not allowed to do that. I am an employee of the federal government. I respect the request from the White House counsel's office that we not comment from this podium, and I have not. And for someone to imply that I had is offensive.
Well, you're the
That's
one.
the implication. You're the one who
You're
said
the
it
one
that
who's
way.
drawing the implication. Would you have been happy if the subhead had read White House role was wider than previously understood?
I have not. What it says is that I had changed my story, and I have not.
It doesn't say that.
It does. That's how I
It
took
does not
it,
say that
and I am
you
not the
changed
only
story.
one.
It simply says that the White House does not comment on this, but it goes
That is
on.
not what. That's not what it says in this headline, Bill. And there was an editorial decision that led to this subheadline, because if they didn't want to make this point to try to say that the White House had misled the public, why would they put it in boldface above the fold and then it's not supported by any of the facts or the contradictory statements in the
That's very
article? I speak for the President and for the White House. This says that I was misleading, and I was not.
It doesn't say you at all. And there were other people in the administration.
The White House did not comment. The only thing that I have said from this podium is regarding to the President and his recollection. I speak for the White House. I represent the White House.
Why do you take it personally?
I'm not taking it personally. I'm taking it, and I speak for the White House. It's not a personal thing. The White House asked for a correction, and I would remind you, the New York Times is going to do one.
What's the correction going to say?
Why would it compromise the investigation for you to say one way or the other whether these officials knew of the tapes?
The question,
I mean, it
some of
seems
the
like a
questions
very
that you have that are
straightforward-
legitimate questions that the public has and that the Attorney General and General Hayden has is who knew what when, and that is part of the inquiry, and so that's what they've asked us not to comment on.